So if you're looking for a guy to be a leader, if you're looking for that rock, if you're looking for that gentleman, and he standing there, you walk to the diner, you know, you're going to hang out, whatever, diner, fancy 5-star restaurant. I don't care. I'm more of a diner girl, so whatever. You get to the front door and he's just standing there looking around. Game over for me. No, because you know that sit back guy who's waiting for you, either waiting for you because he doesn't have any authority or any sense of authority, or afraid of you because he's afraid, well, I was told not to open doors for women because the modern feminist left told me that they're going to get upset because then it's going to mean that I think they can't open the door for themselves. So I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to wait. Either of those two things, deeply unattractive. Deeply unattractive. So if you're looking for that strong guy, you're out. You're out. You've already, it's unattractive.
Hi, you guys, are you ready to pay?
Let me see the bill.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Thank you.
I got it.
No, I'm happy to put in.
It's so good. Oh.
I'm all about being an independent woman and pay my own bills, but at the same time, we're on our first date and we're getting ramen, so it's not like we're eating something super expensive and fancy.
Actually, not even a lot. Thanks for coming.
Okay.
I feel like John should pick up the check for our first date. Is chivalry dead?
What? Jennifer Gilbo riding in Shoel Mahmoud's car when out of nowhere she appears to snap, lunging at the Uber driver, dousing him with pepper spray. Shoel picked up Jennifer and a friend on West 46th Street, but when they got to 65th and Lex, things quickly went south early Wednesday morning. What? Shoel insists he hadn't said a word to the ladies. The other passenger appears just as stunned.
Jen, what?
Repeatedly asking her friend why she was doing this, Jennifer would only say,
Get him out.
Get him out. In the first few seconds, Shoel tells me he tried to get out, but his seatbelt was on. Police did arrest Jennifer. She's charged with assault and now has a lawyer who at this point is not commenting.
Justice has been served.
Outside is only dangerous because of men, which is true. Statistically, violence, men.
But that isn't true. Let's get to the root cause of things. Manipulation happens when you focus on the effects and you don't go to the cause. So the root of it is that without a man and you were just here, you would have been eaten by a lion, a tiger, and bear. And guess what? If the lions and tigers and bears didn't get you, you wouldn't have the ability to gather enough calories for you to last. Because a woman can't manipulate the world how a man can. So let me explain to you how a world would operate with only women and only men. When men get together, we know, oh, he's stronger here, he has this skill here, he got this. Let the best person work this skill, and that creates a hierarchy from top down. When a woman get together, what you think about, you're all emotional. So you're tiptoeing all the time, and you're looking at the sensitivity levels in this woman and that woman because you know that you are sensitive. So what you do is you start looking at everything in an egalitarian sense to equalize everything. You get two, you get two, you get two, you get two. The men don't operate like that. Did you do enough to get two? If you ain't do enough, you're not getting two. You get zero. Put in that work and then you get that. This is why on the survival series, men, they was cleaning water fast, building fires fast because they created that hierarchy. They put the best person in position first. The women, they was trying to do everything equal and by committee, so they couldn't create any order and any structure. The world wouldn't be safer without men. Nature killed more people than any wars and anything you could never imagine. And men, we built infrastructure to protect the woman from nature.
True feminism advocates for equality and mutual respect between genders. But the extreme views held by some can create division rather than unity, making it difficult for meaningful connections to flourish. Jennifer Gilbo's shocking attack on an Uber driver with pepper spray brings to light a troubling issue. Statistics show a rising trend of female criminal behavior, challenging traditional views on gender and crime. Some modern women, driven by a radical interpretation of feminism, tend to consider men as unnecessary or even problematic, dismissing their value. This attitude fosters a lack of mutual respect, pushing men away from relationships with such women.
Chivalry's not dead, ladies and gentlemen. I have to give him credit because the paparazzi have been following them since they got married. So I'm sure he's fed up with it. But dude, he's been depressed since before he got married. Somebody commented and was like, Ben has resting misery face. Yes, he does. Somebody said chivalry isn't dead, but it looks like happiness is. Dude, you bagged J-Lo. Put a smile on your face. You did what no man could do. You should be happy about it. Somebody said, good to know that misery doesn't have financial boundaries. That's just sad.
Just take a look at this evolving story called Female Fugitives. Why is pink collar crime on the rise? And I think you'll see what I'm getting at here. Of course, it starts by punching at men, but now even the feminist media can't ignore the facts. Men commit more crimes than women do. A lot more. This holds true over time and across cultures. In America, the incarceration capital of the world, more than 2 million detainees, males comprise 93% of the prison population.
These numbers, they just don't add up.
Men also account for 73% of all arrests and 80% of those charged with violent crimes. This disparity between the sexes is particularly stark when it comes to murder. 90% of the time, the ones who do the killing are men. All these numbers add up to what criminologists call the gender gap. But
here we go.
Read enough academic journals and government crime reports and some curious facts emerge. While crime rates in the Western world have steadily declined over the past 3 decades, the number of young women being convicted for violent crimes in some Western countries has increased significantly. Law enforcement records indicate the opposite is true for their male counterparts. In other words, the gender gap is closing.
Wow.
In some UK cities, the number of female arrests increased by 50% from 2015 to 2016. That's more than a blip. A 2017 report by the Institute for Criminal Policy Research at Birkbeck, University of London, came up with this sobering data point. The global female prison population has surged by more than half since the turn of the century, while the male prison population increased by just a fifth over that same period. Women and girls may account for only 7% of all incarcerated people today, but their numbers are now growing at a much faster rate than at any time in recorded history. Well, would you look at that? Turns out that when women are thrown into the lion's den that men have scrapped in for centuries, suddenly the demands and the pressure that comes with them make them not just as reckless, but more than we ever were. If male crime rates spiked like this over such a short period of time, the global media frenzy would be all over it. Titles like The Disease of Masculinity or Why Women Are Needed More Than Ever would be in circulation for weeks. Now, part of that just has to do with the potential men have when they put effort into something. But the real reason we don't hear about these stats is that women continue to be coddled as if they still don the apron and make pancakes in the morning. Much of Western society still sees the innocence of the kinds of chicks people would see in the 1920s. But we're not dealing with flapper girls and risque ankle photos anymore. The women of today don't even resemble what they continue to pretend to be in the public eye.
Hi, ma'am. Do you have stuff in your coat right now? Employees said they saw you stuff from your basket into your jacket.
No, I just put all my stuff back because I was supposed to meet my other half here and he never showed up. I just tried calling him, actually.
Okay, so if we search your jacket, we're not going to find any items. I'll give you an opportunity right now to take everything out, but it's going to be your one and only opportunity.
Okay, fine. I have a hat and gloves.
All right, there we go.
It's just cold outside. I don't have any money and I just want a hat and gloves.
You don't have hat or gloves? I'll buy these for her.
Thank you. Are you serious? Thank you.
But don't do this, okay? I know it's tough, but there's other ways. Call us for help, all right?
Oh, sure, when a man does it, it's smutty. But if a woman did it...
So who's the head honcho here? You tell me! Come on, kiss me! Kiss me! And tell me who's the head honcho here! What, I'm not hot enough for you? I'm not hot enough? I'm not sexy enough? Understand you! Tell me I'm fucking hot! Tell me I'm fucking sexy! Tell me! Tell me! Tell me!
Something is wrong with you!
Nobody seems to be talking about this problem right now, and because of the woman's irrational temper, nobody is brave enough to confront her about her actions. Her rage prevents others from speaking up, enabling her behavior to continue unchecked. This lack of involvement merely compounds the situation, as her behavior continues without any accountability or effort to improve. Speaking up about these things takes guts, yet everyone stays silent out of concern for her response.
Another analysis explains this by saying, Most people don't realize it, but they probably are neighbors, coworkers, friends, or acquaintances with either a pink-collar criminal or someone who has been embezzled by a pink-collar criminal. A pink-collar criminal can be a PTA mom, your dentist office manager, and yes, even someone's grandma. The statistics on pink-collar criminals are alarming. According to the FBI, male embezzlers have increased only 4% since 1990, while pink-collar criminals have increased over 40% during that time period. While the rise in crime on the side of men and possible reasons can be negated by population growth and other common factors, a 40% increase can't. It's a development that would make any rational person look over the data and do everything they can to understand why this has been so significant. But, as I said, the media turns a blind eye to this stuff because it doesn't serve the message that women are naturally pacifists, devoid of violence or corrupt intentions, even if the evidence is replayed constantly all around us.
Anybody else realize that children born in 2023 potentially live to see the year 3000?
Why is it that when we describe a man as hysterical, we mean he's a funny, funny man? Yet when we describe a woman as hysterical, we mean she's hysterical. Why is that?
I'll show you.
Completely unhinged, and nothing legal to stand in their way. The article continues with, what's really cemented this pulpy women behind bars image in the collective conscious, though, is crime has no gender, a controversial Europol campaign that launched last August. Are women equally capable of committing serious crimes as men? Reads the news release. The female fugitives featured on Europe's most wanted website prove that they are.
Continue.
To show that women can be vicious sociopaths too, Europol asked 21 of the 28 EU member countries to select a single fugitive for their campaign. The methodology may have been flawed and the sample size small, but the gimmick worked. The bad girls theme was reflected in the head count. 18 females, 3 males. Elena Petrovich, Russia, who trafficked 9 young women into Spain and forced them to work as prostitutes, made the list. So did Dorota Kazmierska, Poland, a 44-year-old femme fatale who killed her husband by shooting him in the head. Then there's Zorka Rajic, Croatia, a blonde desperado who works in sales, narcotics, psychotropic substances, firearms, munitions, and explosives. I could keep going on here, but I think you're starting to get the point. When women are discovered to be the bringers of crime and general destruction, much faster than men ever were, the journalists try and question the integrity of the studies. It's why we see a franchise like Star Wars stripped down with messaging and movies like Sound of Freedom that shed light on actual issues, burned by worthless critics on Rotten Tomatoes. Not only that, but when we see prison shows and movies regarding women, they're always shown in a positive light, victims of circumstance that are simply doing anything they can to survive. It's the same argument we see for LonelyFans girls. They grow up in a country with countless opportunities, but the primary excuse for debasing themselves is that the world is cruel and cold, only to spend this supposedly hard-earned cash on a trip to Bermuda for more content. Additionally, if we were to include the actions that should be crimes, child support claims, alimony, perjury, and more, the female crime rate would be astronomically higher than anything we've seen from men. But that doesn't happen, so we see this.
My wife informed me that she wants a divorce, and I left just to
keep the peace.
Keep the peace, and I'm still here. The locks, I went back the next day and the locks were changed. And
I've been on the streets for about 30 years. And the reason why I become homeless is me and my wife got a crucial divorce.
Bad marriage, a broken heart and hit the streets.
And my wife getting a divorce. Family, 1 minute they want you to stay. A week go by, time to leave again. So it's just very difficult.
Well, I went through a bad divorce, lost everything I had, and moved out here to start over. Went to the doctors, and doctors took me out of work because I got rheumatoid arthritis and my liver's failing.
Lost my house, my kids, my car to a violent relationship.
A broken marriage.
Relationship?
Yeah. Lost it. I have emotional issues I couldn't deal with. Car broke down. Ran into the wrong people at the wrong time, got robbed. Lost pretty much everything.
Divorce. Then I rented a room
and then I came down with epilepsy and started having seizures, and the guy didn't want me there, and the next thing I know I was in a assisted living house.
Look, can we just talk for a minute?
Is that how long it takes for Rick to trace my location?
Come back, Morty. I miss you.
You miss the old me. You miss someone that loved you so much you never had to love him back.
How do you know I don't want to love you?
Because I'm not sick.
It is somewhat depressing that modern women, who once made a big contribution to improving society, frequently appear unwilling to make positive contributions now. Despite the enormous potential they possess to improve the community and effect positive change, some chose to shirk these duties. Rather of emphasizing mutual development and advancement, inactivity can lead to dissatisfaction and erode the social structure. Everybody, regardless of gender, must accept their crucial role in creating a community that is both supportive and thriving.
The death of chivalry has caused an increase in domestic violence. During the 1960s and 70s, if you were an upper-class lady and the guys that you were dating were from households that had two parents, that had taught them how you're supposed to treat people and they weren't mistreated and all the rest, they grew up like a well-balanced person. To them, it might seem a little bit patronizing for the guy to hold the door for you, right? Or to pull the chair out, or to make sure that you get home okay.
Yeah.
Because you live an existence in which the danger of that not happening, not going appropriately, isn't that great. Now, what wasn't understood by a lot of the upper-class feminists that were talking about this derogation of chivalry that they wanted was that that doesn't necessarily work for the working class or the underclass woman who is dating a man whose father beat him, or stepfather beat him, or didn't have a father, or was homeless, or addicted to drugs, or in violent crime. And she thinks it's a direct line, a single spectrum from you should hold the door open for women to you shouldn't beat your wife.
And that concludes today's discussion on MGTOW Voice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on future videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video.